Trying to figure out where we want to start with this dude. I really want to fix this body right now. The way this form is turning is way too gradual as compared to the concept where it has like this really, let me change my line there, this really sharp hit right there. It goes like 1, 2, down. So 1, 2, 3. Mine has that, but it's just, I think, too gradual of a translation, I should say. So let's grab this edge loop. And I think I would like to start by just trying to slide this up. Let's see here. We'll play around with it. Try to find something that works well. But yeah, like I said, we're just gonna chill out today. Do some ZBrushing. Nothing too fancy. Unless you think ZBrush is fancy, then very fancy stuff. I'm making... Oh, you know what's wrong? Perspective is messing with my masks. So we have the new perspective camera now, and it's even stronger than the old perspective, which was not based on focal length, like true focal length. So the new perspective is even stronger. So my mask, like my mesh here with perspective on, is offset a little bit, so it's masking on that other side as well. So that's why that was messing up. I was wondering what was going on there. There are a few things that I actually prefer using the old perspective on. Not much, but a lot of the kinks have been worked out now. Greetings from Orlando. Welcome. Calderon Celia, maybe. Excited about the new brush updates. Heck yeah, man. Of course. Bunch of new updates to check out. The new Snapshot 3D tool. All the new BPR filters. Some cool stuff. Zremesher 3.0. Better than before. Which I don't think really anybody was expecting that one. It's pretty crazy. So I think we have achieved that look a lot better now. Getting that 1, 2, 3. I think this needs to be a tighter transition down here. So I'll just move these a little closer together. And I'm gonna add in an extra edge loop right here so that I can round out that surface. So normally on Fridays here at noon EST, I'm normally doing live critiques, but I didn't have what I would consider enough right now. I had a ton last Friday. It was like, I think there was like 9 or 10 of them. So that plus I was just busy with my course and a lot of other stuff. We didn't stream last Friday, so all those videos will be up on my YouTube channel here soon, but the critiques for this Friday, I decided we'd just do kind of a chill stream today, since I didn't have very many. Never know how it's gonna go. One week, you know, I have like over 10, and then the next week, like 2. So, just kind of depends. Francisco, what's going on, man? Welcome. How you doing? Alright, so I think that is feeling a bit better now on the profile, but here in the front, the geometry is starting to get really pinched because those edge loops are getting tighter and tighter, so essentially with your topology, you want it to be as even as you can most of the time. It's not like an always the case situation. But these quads aren't all the exact same size. You can see that there's some stretch down here. These are bigger than these, so it's not super even, and because of that, the density of the polygons are changing here in the front, causing it to kind of like pinch a little bit. Which, for now, I think I'm just going to say bleh, and I'll fix it later. Let's worry about big shapes and try to focus on what's kind of more important here right now. Down here in the legs, it looks like there is kind of a very tight transition right here. Just come straight down. So let's try to like follow this line a little bit better. I'm gonna turn off the arms so I can do that. And kind of line this jacket up a little bit better. And it doesn't really need to be perfect. I just want to try to get a little bit of a cleaner line out of what we have. So then down here in the pants, right about here. So if we follow that line of the crotch out right there, it's a little bit lower than that. So about right there. And I'm going to turn off that material so that I can see it a little bit better. Continue sculpting through here. Let's try to get a better form transition. Try to blend that. Lazy Mouse still has that same issue. We got the 2019 update the other day, but yeah, there's still a lot of other things that need fixing. That Lazy Mouse one has been in there for just about as long as I can remember. Just every once in a while it'll veer off screen and make that quick stroke that you just saw, which is pretty annoying to deal with. Let's see. Feeling a bit better. So we got 1, 2, except for the fact that this kind of like curves in a little bit concave there. So let's pull that out. Start playing with that. Just clean this up a little bit. And for the inner leg, kind of got the same thing going on down here. So let me just pinch in. Play around with that. For the most part, you know, with 2019, there's a bunch of... Actually, I don't think there's like really that many new things, but what was added is pretty deep. There's a lot of different things that you can do with them. And because of that, you know, these few tools that were added aren't really like game changers or anything. So my workflow hasn't really changed too much. I think probably one of the biggest updates in recent memory was around, I think it was like 4R8. I think it was 4R8 where they added the Z modeler brush. That was a huge game changer for me. Completely changed my workflow for the better. Just being able to do some poly modeling in here really quick is extremely nice. Alright, look at this angle compared to that. It's much steeper, so what we need to do is slide our leg in. Or our legs, I should say. Try to get a little bit closer to that angle. Let's go somewhere about there. Break a few things so that we can fix them. His feet are just like closer together. Actually, that's feeling pretty close now. Alright, now let's just clean up our pants. We've got most of the major shapes in there, now we just want to kind of solidify a lot of this. Getting pretty messy. And if I can, spread that out a little bit. So yeah, we have this convexity here, and if we look at the silhouette, it's more of just a straight line, so try to fix that. One thing that I actually like to do in situations like this, where geometry is really close to the symmetrical plane, is just get rid of it. So that's what we're gonna do. Get rid of it on one side. Oh my gosh, something that, this is like the smallest little feature that was added for the update, but it's one of the best things ever. So before, when you wanted to mirror and weld, you always had to do it from the positive axis to the negative axis. So essentially for the X, left to right, up and down for the Y, and for Z, forward to back, I think. But now it doesn't matter. You can mirror and weld from any side. But the way it works is, for it to recognize it from the other side, it has to have pretty much like no geometry over there. So it still wants to mirror from the positive to the negative axis if there's a little bit of geometry over there, which is what was just happening there. Let me redo my crappy little selection there. Oh, you know what? Actually, I don't think I will need to delete those caps. So again, the reason why I'm cutting this is so that I can get in here and work on this inner leg. So when you have symmetry on, and if you have legs are typically the biggest kind of problem area for this type of situation. But it's just very, very frustrating to work on. It's hard to really get in there and accomplish anything. All right, let's give this a quick diner mesh. Definitely two kind of just like bulbous, too convex up through here. Let's just trim this out a little bit. And I obviously took some liberties there with the text, if you didn't see the juicy on the butt. Honestly, how could you miss it? Let's see, how's that feeling? That tail is kind of getting in the way. Can't really see that negative space too well. Can't tell if my legs are too long or if it's more so just the perspective of that image. He's kind of like the horizon line is a little high here. Oh, you know what? There's just some asymmetrical stuff going on here. It's kind of messing with my head a little bit. I think that's actually pretty good. If anything, we can maybe slide up some silhouette breaks here. And then with a simple mirror and weld, we can combine that geometry back up. Chicky, what's up? It kind of scared me. It's been a minute since I've streamed with my alerts on, but welcome. How are you doing? Jacko, what up, man? Do you recognize the music? Pop Sky. He's a really cool dude. For those interested. P-O-P-S-K-Y-Y, Pop Sky. It's got some really good stuff. I believe he also streams as well. Alright, so what I want to do next is try to remesh this a little bit. We'll be using the new version of Zremesher. Unfortunately for organics, it's really not that big of a change in terms of quality, it's a little bit, or it's a lot better, I should say, for hard surface stuff. It was a little bit more developed in that regard. That was kind of the intention of the changes that were made. There's like edge detection now, as well as keeping creases, which is pretty awesome. So we'll take a look at that here in just a second. But what I want to do is add in some edge loops or some poly groups to create edge loops. Let's really quickly try to clean up some of this though. You know what, actually let's just do this all with poly groups. I think that'll be a little bit faster and a little bit easier. Let's see. Alright, I would like to get a loop here, and I need to delete my caps. I'm going to turn off line so that we can see what's going on here. Turn off this bottom cap, Control W will poly group, a masked area. We have some stretching in the polys going on. It's probably not that big of a problem. Just to make sure though that we get a nice clean edge there. Let's just do another quick Dynamesh. Alright, very quickly, do this one more time. All the way through. And if I can, maybe get like one more up through here. So that we get a nice edge loop around the crotchal region. And try to flow that all the way around here. So I want a nice clean edge loop all the way through there. Control W again, polygroup that. Make sure we don't have any weird floaters or anything. It should be okay. This might kind of cause some issues, we'll see. And then I think I'll do one more here. Just kind of splitting this in half. Trying to follow that edge at least a little bit. I'll have to get in here and play with it after. Alright, Control W, here is what we have, just some few quick poly groups. Let's go ahead and go into Zremesher, keep groups on, and I'm going to set the target poly count to 1K for our first test. Let's also quick save so we don't lose any of this. Zremesh, and let's see what happens. And open up my chat back up. Ephemera, Ideety, maybe. All these names. Everybody comes in here, the craziest usernames that I can never pronounce. There's never just like a John, something easy. What's going on? I always wanted to ask where I can find the brush called the BMH Cut Mech Brush. Is it a custom brush? Yes, it is. But it's a variation on a brush that already exists in ZBrush, or on, I believe it's on Pixelogic's download center. So I would check there first. I believe that there are a few different types of mech cut brushes, but if you want this one specifically, that is available on my Gumroad. I'm not actually sure if it's in here or not. I'm sorry, no, it is not. I do not have the mech cut brush in this set. But go to the Pixelogic Download Center. And I think it's in here, where they should have you know what? Now I can't remember. I could have sworn they had different brushes on here. I'm trying to remember where it is. Up in your light boxes, you have a bunch of brushes as well. It could be in here, and by a bunch, I mean there's like a lot to go through. These are each folders, so it might be in here. All of my custom brushes are variations on brushes that at one point existed in ZBrush. Like for example, I've shown off my clay tubes brush many times, and I use it all the time, but let's see, a quick demonstration. So, like here. Where is clay tubes? Alright, so this is the default clay tubes brush. And then this is my clay tubes brush. So all my brushes are variations. I consider them improvements on a lot of older brushes or brushes that are still currently in there. But yeah, I can't remember where the MAH brush is from, mech cut or whatever. I'm guessing it's just an older brush that I've had for a while. So we got some weird weird things going on here. This is actually what I said might happen. That's causing some weird issues down there for sure. Let's see. How can we fix this? Rake, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm trying to fix a little crotch here, so that's fun. I think I'm just gonna delete that. I wonder what this Zremesher will do with that open hole. Let's find out. What I'm hoping is that we can get something that's relatively simple enough that we can just bridge some holes with our Z modeler brush. But if not, I don't know, we might just go with the old result. It doesn't have to be really perfect because I'll probably end up just meshing some stuff later on. That doesn't look too bad. It's a little hard to see. That's no fun. Let's see here. So yeah, I can actually just bridge this and it should be totally fine. That's what I was hoping for. Alright, let me grab that little floater, delete him. And then go into bridge, bridge edges. And close this up very quickly. Close up this crotch. Alright. Simple, quick, good to go. And now we have some pretty decent edge loops here that we can use to our advantage to emphasize the hits and breaks of our character. And this is pretty much exactly what I did up here for our jacket. I'm gonna put this guy up in the corner while we work in here on some specifics. No more weird spirals. In all honesty, I don't know what version of ZBrush you were using or are currently using, but all the weird spirals got cleared up in like 4R8 when they introduced Zremesher 2.0. Zremesher 3.0, or the old version of Zremesher 2.0 before 2019, I never got spirals. Like, very, very rarely. I mean, I pretty much always get clean edge loops. You just have to know how to work with it. With the default settings, and if you have some like really crazy geometry, then yeah, you might get spirals, but I can't remember the last time I got spirals using the old version of Zremesher. The new version of Zremesher 3.0 is, I would say, equivalent, maybe slightly better when it comes to organics. So, about the same. Alright, let's get in here, delete some excess edge loops, and then use that to our advantage. Oh, whoa. So we have some crazy mess going on back here where our edge loop didn't wrap all the way around. So we got some quads that aren't turning the correct direction. So we just got some bunching going on there. And then we also have a star up here as well. But up here, essentially all I need is to delete the surrounding edge loops, really. But unfortunately that star is right along that line, so that will cause some issues for us. And that's why I've used these poly groups and Zremeshed with keep groups on to allow us the ability to get a lot cleaner geometry out of this. And then in these areas where those hits and breaks are a little bit more apparent, what we can do is bevel our edge loops. And this might be a little bit weird. We'll see how it goes. It should be fine. And essentially what that's going to do is it's going to create some denser geometry there and emphasize that hit and transition, which is working pretty well. And we just might need to like play around with cleaning it up as it wraps around to the front. And then down here, I want to do the same thing, but we might get some issues with that area. Actually, no, we didn't. You know what? That's awesome. We'll take that. Alright, let's clean up our silhouette a little bit more. And I'm trying to figure out the exact pose that's happening here with these legs. Thigh meat, knee is like somewhere around here. It doesn't feel like the leg would be bent in this pose, really. Maybe like slightly. It kind of feels like he's got, okay, so it kind of feels like this foot is forward a little bit more based on this hit and break switching from here to that lower point. There's a little bit of weird perspective going on there as well. He's got this arm swinging back, this one forward. So we'll play with that a little bit later once we get into posing. But for now, I think this will do. I feel like doing some quick little tiger feet or something here. So let's play around with that. Make sure this is cleaned up a little bit too. And this actually dips back in. We get down here. Labassi, what's going on? Welcome. It is a very cute concept. It kind of reminds me of Zootopia a little bit. It's by Dan Kelby, and you guys should absolutely go check out some more of his work. He's got some really cool stuff. Hey, Tatami, what's up? Can't stick around, but wanted to say thanks for the critique. Absolutely, man. Good luck on the characters, both of them. And you got the job. Oh, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. That's super cool. When do you start? It's always good news. Change of pace, right? A little hard to see with this color on here. Let's turn that off for a moment, just so I can see my actual form. How do I want to do this? I'm just gonna carve in and turn the surface sculpturally. Be able to sculpt much more because of that. That's awesome, man. And get paid for it. It's a pretty good, what would you call that? I don't know. Pretty good gig. Sure, we'll just say that. Get paid, and you get to sculpt. Hey, that's what it's all about, right? I don't know what happened up there, but our geometry is not very happy. Got a big old hole in our mesh. What even are these pants? This is stupid. Just need to stretch this lower portion out more so it starts to curve and swirl back in. Let's just push it really far, exaggerate it. There we go. See how we're starting to get that change now? It's just an annoying transition. It's so small. Thick fellow, yes. Thick and juicy. Can't forget the juicy. Somebody during the last Pixelogic stream on Tuesday said I should put juicy on his butt. So we did, of course. I mean, it's the best idea ever. I was like, you know what? He's a thick boy. He needs thick on the front. Get all the C's up in there. Triple C thick. Alright, so that's starting to go the direction I want a little bit more. So that's good. 5 more seconds on this, and then we'll do some feet things. do some feet things. Ugh. Leave that for now. Turn our Polypaint back on. Sure. Let's take a look at these feet. Pretty small, pretty simple. From what I can see, it looks like they taper as they come out. To work on these, what I'll be doing is realigning this with the symmetrical axis to make this easier to work on. And I'm going to do that using my transpose line, because it's very easy to do. Ah, my cube is no longer a cube, so it's not quite as easy to do now, but that's okay. I can get it pretty close. And I can actually make it a cube again if I want to. So there we go. Now we have a cube. Honestly, I should have just made a new cube at this point. But, let's see, what do we want to do here? How do we want to make these toe bean shapes? That'll be interesting. Later, Tatami. You have a good one, man. And good luck on the new position. It'll be fun. Toe beans. I've done toe beans recently, actually. I can't remember how I did them. I think I just like hand sculpted and carved them in. What is, I don't know what's going on here, but my materials are messed up on everything that I've been loading in for 2019. It will not recognize my ZBrush paint. This is the correct material. Fill that in really quick. For some reason, it's not recognizing that. But yeah, I think I just kind of hand sculpted these really quick. Are these separate? No. Okay. I guess we could do that. I guess we could just hand sculpt them. And doing it with symmetry will make it much easier. It's kind of like tapers as it goes back, from what I can tell. We'll try to get a little bit of that in there. And let's start adding some subdivs and sculpting some toe beans. See what we can do. I think that's here. This edge loop is actually causing some issues once we subdivide. Oh, whoa. Why does it keep masking that off? Stop. It's just creating a little bit too hard of an edge. What I'm gonna do is just subdivide this, just like that. And I will manually round this out. So in your deformation palette, there's like this slider called relaxed. I hate it though because it's very laggy and it doesn't work very well on high-res stuff. So I will just manually kind of round this out to the shape that I want. It's more so just the front, like the back can be a little bit more angular and stiff for the heel, but for the front I want that to be more rounded and have, I think, some more volume. Let's do one of these. Toe bean time, let's do it. Start off, just carve in. We'll just do this by hand. Plus, they're only feet, right? Nobody's ever gonna look at them. Nobody ever looks at feet. They have this really interesting, he's got like this really nice curve into a flat. Kind of goes like this. I kind of like. Wonder if we can achieve that a little bit better here. Something like that, maybe. Just pull out the top. I was gonna say pull out the tip, but it sounded wrong. And then I said it anyway. Saga! Vinay Saga! What up? Thank you for the follow there. Alright, now let's just round out the top of that a little bit more. Yeah, I think our base shape was just a little too flat and boring to start sculpting those toes on. Kind of round that out a little bit more. I'm also using the kind of color breakup on that one. Find out where that line is headed. And we'll end up with a much more interesting shape here. Now let's start doing some individual toes. I could carve them in like I was doing before. I could live boolean these. Really, there's a lot of different ways to go about this. I'm gonna trim that down just a little bit. Then we can also use some masking. We could even here, let me carve this in a little bit more, and then I'll show you what we can even. So that's actually not super far off from the shape that I had in mind, but I was thinking it would be cool if I could do a slice down this. See how it goes. Ooh, that was actually pretty close. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then let's do a mirror and weld, so we have that on the other side as well. And then we should be able to get some edge loops along that area. We'll see how it works. I might want to project this as well, but we'll keep groups on, remesh with like, I don't know, let's go as low as we can, see what happens. See if it completely breaks. It's a nice and slow one. My favorite kind of Zremeshes. This is normally when I would slide my chair back and chill and look at Twitter, but we don't need to do that. My contacts are so dry right now. I think I broke ZBrush. That wasn't like a super crazy dense mesh or anything. I don't know what happened there. This poor little, oh, it's doing something. There we go. All right, so I think that was just way too low poly to aim for there. Ooh, what the heck, it completely freaked out down there. I don't even have a poly group down there. I don't know where it got that information from. So something weird is going on here. Let's do a quick save. It was very strange. It's done, I've seen it do that before, but not to that degree. Let's aim maybe for like 1K or so. See what happens. If nothing else, we can always use the legacy Zremesher, see if we get a different result. Very strange, like I said, but it shouldn't be creating another poly group at least. That's more so what I expected. What are these? Where is it getting these from? What? Oh my god, these are actually different poly groups. They're just the exact same color. Wow. That's awesome. Here. Let me fix that. Control W. That's so annoying. Alright, let's try that again. No wonder it was taking so long to calculate. Those polygroups were stupid. Couldn't even get edge loops out of something like that. I'm surprised it did create edge loops. So unfortunately, the polygroup system will create polygroups that are the same color on occasion. Very rare that you get something that looks exactly the same, but I apparently got very lucky. Should go buy a lottery ticket now. Alright, that looks pretty good. Duplicate that. Oops, wrong way. Alright. How do you isolate polygroups? Yeah, no problem. You hold Control and Shift, and then you can select a polygroup. And then if you hold Control, this is all with holding Control and Shift. Click a polygroup to select it. Click again to show all. Click and drag to inverse the selection. And that's really it. So up here, a little bit more complicated, right? We have a lot of different stuff. So I can click and invert and start hiding more of these if I need to. All with holding Control and Shift. But I have some polygroups that are a little bit merged up here. Freaking out on me. Alright, let me do a quick subdivide and project. No problem. Happy to help. Easy. It was an easy one, so 5 seconds, You guys give me hard questions though, and I'll just pretend like I didn't read them. I'm just kidding. I'll answer whatever I can, if I can. That's why I'm here. Like I said, doing a chill stream. Alright, so the feet are definitely going to be asymmetrical once we get them in there. Matching everything else. Is there anything else I want to do to these before I do that? Probably just exaggerate the toes a bit more. What's going on here? Wouldn't let me mask off my polygroup. It's weird. 2019 is gonna be a few little bugs, I'm guessing. A few more. Get 2019.1 probably in the not too distant future. Oh, and this shape is like the shapes of the toes specifically. The separations are feeling really stiff. I made them straight on purpose so that I could make them really clean, but now they're feeling a little boring. Control left mouse button. Yes. You have to do that with your transpose line or 3D gizmo visible though. That's what I did, but it wasn't working for some reason. Like I said, all the little bugs here in the first version of 2019, I'm sure there's going to be a bunch. Alright, let's get this color on here. And for those who haven't seen, so I've made tutorials on all the new features, which you can find over on my YouTube channel, but the Z Color plugin is super rad. I can actually use this to start. Here, we'll do File, New, and we can start selecting colors off of this image, and it'll give us like harmonious colors, so it'll give different shades of the color that you have selected, as well as like monochromatic, triadic, etc. So I can start here. This is the, we'll just add a row of swatches. So I can start adding those. I can sample more colors. So if I want to sample him there, we can add another row of swatches, which actually I think those are within the same color scheme. So we can grab this blue maybe, add another row of swatches, and then I can start creating colors that I can, you know, very quickly just select, set my color, and use this for painting later on. Let's see, let's grab like this off black here. Whoops. And maybe we'll use this. Analogous. What else we got in here? I don't really need this off black. More so just wanted... Ooh, you know what? That's a nice red. So we can play around with these. There's all sorts of really cool stuff that you can do in here. Again, there's a tutorial over on my YouTube channel. But what's really cool about this is that you can, you know, drag it off, throw it on another monitor, minimize it, etc. All sorts of really cool things. And then of course you can save out your color swatches and like share them with people, or import and append other ones, or even you can go on color.adobe.com and they have a ton of swatches that you can download, which is super cool. Those were what the defaults I had loaded in there previously before I deleted those. Let's see what this foot is looking like real quick. Just kind of move it into position here for one of our feet. That is way too big. I think our foot's gonna need to be shorter in height. So squashed down a bit more. And let's see. Might have got that like stretch going on the top portion a little bit too much. Play around with that a little bit. And just kind of the asymmetry of the foot. And I say we play with our face a little bit more now. And we'll come back to our feet later. It's enough on feet for now, I think. Alright. So, the last thing I did up here was started working on the muzzle and cleaning that up, as well as the nose, which needs to be combined and have the colors broken out. I also want to do the eyes. So let's do some eyes here for this head. These beady little eyes. In terms of the silhouette from the profile, honestly I feel like we might have a little bit too much going for the chest. I kind of like the kind of pushed forward nature of it, but my guy feels, it doesn't feel like the same character from the profile as it does from the front. He feels very thick from the front. Feels like he feels like he's got a lot more volume, whereas when I rotate around, this starts getting a lot more taper, which is, you know, one of those principles that we like, but in this case I think we're kind of getting away from the character a little too much. So I'll probably reassess that a little bit here. Let's see. I know that our silhouette's matching up pretty well. Let's hop into Transpose Master and see if we can change this up a little bit. So let's see like where exactly this starts to fall apart. So we're following this line out, it starts to curve. And I think we just need some more volume around that shoulder region. We start getting very, very flat. So let's like continue to rotate that out. Try to continue that curve. Let's just kind of beef this guy up a little bit down here. Maybe a little more junk in the trunk. Maybe not quite as far forward in the chest. Kind of square him out a little bit more. And let's also move these legs to be a little bit underneath him. A little bit more underneath him, I should say. There we go. That's starting to feel a lot better. Get that perspective on for a little bit. Maybe round this out a little bit more. Alright. Let's T-pose back and see what we get. Alright, that's feeling quite a bit better to me. there's obviously going to have to be some changes back here. How messy this geometry is. Let's worry about that later. And see what we can do up here in the face. So our eyes are very, very small triangles. I mean, I can barely make them out in this image. So very just tiny slits that are kind of in line with his nose, right through there. So pretty much just straight lines, very tiny, kind of triangular shapes. And it looks like the muzzle, actually, if we follow this line, kind of connects up and around that brow. So let's see if maybe we can do that. We need to get that surrounding form for the eye before we do anything else. So this shape needs to come up. Let me turn off the nose here. I think I'm actually going to merge this down. And I have this very long right now because I didn't know what I'd be doing with the body, but we can actually shrink this down quite a bit. It's looking a little polar berry right now, I think. Polar bearish, maybe? Polar berry. Do a quick Dynamesh, and I'm going to start blending these two pieces together. So I need this line to wrap up and around the brow. Gonna blend up through here. Kind of getting shapes resembling Gloria the hippo from Madagascar. Which I got to work on 3 or 4 years ago for a life-size figure, which was pretty fun. It's kind of reminding me of that. The style is actually reminiscent of Madagascar. But I mean, it's an anthropomorphic character, so what do you expect? And I don't really like the super sharp transition that we're getting down through here. Oh gosh, what the heck is that? I don't know when that happened, but we'll get rid of that. So I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to do with the muzzle from the profile, because we got these really sharp lines from the front kind of blocked out. So let's see. So maybe we can, there we go. This derpy cat should work. So maybe I could just continue that line and instead of having it, so I was thinking about obviously blending this, but instead of making it concave, in the directionality here. Maybe we could just make that a straight line. I'll have to experiment with this to find something that works. But what's important is that we don't lose the shape, that reed from the front. And we just might need to go shorter with the muzzle in general. We'll keep playing around with it though. I don't want to do too much work in any one area. Try to jump around, keep everything at the same general level of finish. Whoops. So I just have some placeholders in there right now for the eyes, but we can start to fill that in here in just a moment. Trying to think if I want to just go ahead and blend this nose now. Doesn't really matter. There's some just very, very tight lines going on in this face that we want to retain. I mean, I guess we don't really have to go for like super accurate here. That's what I spend most of my time doing. So if we want to chill out on that for a little bit, that's fine with me too. And just try to create something interesting that has a similar feeling. Doesn't have to be a one-to-one. I'm just trying to follow that line a little bit more closely so that I can understand that shape. And then obviously the color transitions. I'm not too worried about Polypaint right now though. Okay. If we just want to like block out that very quickly. Something like that, sure. Alright, just blocking out a couple more of the colors to check on proportions. I think our ears are a little small. Pretty quick fix. How did I put the image? This image? Or these? The 3D objects. Which one? And obviously those are asymmetrical, but at least we can get the scale a little bit closer. I'm just going to make them a little bigger than I think they need to be, so something like that will work fine for now. And then for the actual eyes, we can hide our temp eyes. And get in here. No, it's not all one image or picture. This is an image that I have imported with Spotlight, and these are snapshots to my 3D canvas, my document. But this is a 2D image over here. I need the face to get a little flat where I put these eyes, because if we have this slant going up, the eyes are going to feel really weird. So I need to pull that, well, combination of pulling this lower edge back and pulling the brow forward. Gotta go watch some JoJo. We'll have fun, Francisco. I was watching JoJo for a while. I got up to like season 2 or something. I got to where they went to some island and I just couldn't keep watching it. Couldn't force myself any longer. It's just such a weird show. Which I don't mind, but that in combination with the terrible writing, and they can't stick to one thing for any amount of time. Previous JoJo parts have a lot of plot holes. Yes, they do. Saying they have a lot is being generous. The whole show is like one giant plot hole. Part 5. That's when it starts to get good. I love when shows are... It's like, oh, no, you just gotta stick around for like 4 seasons. Trust me, it gets good. It's like... Great. Feels like a chore. You don't need to watch the other parts. Well, that's good. Yeah, they are. At least the parts that I have seen play off of each other a little. Like the season that I was on. Dio's back. He's back again. And there's also like a huge plot hole for the entire season where Dio's back, but he very clearly died in the 2 seasons prior or something like that. But they're like, oh yeah, we'll just make up some BS reason to why he's still alive, and it is absolutely a very BS reason. Like to the point where I had to like look it up. I was like, how can they justify this? And everybody in forums was just like, nope, they don't justify it. They just do it. That might be too low of a resolution there. Let's go a little higher. Should you uninstall 2018? I mean, it's up to you. If you don't think you're going to use it at all and you're only going to use 2019, I mean, I would. But I still have 2018 installed because I need it for my next big course. I'm still doing some recording for it. Which, by the way, I have mentioned before, but registration for my new course is on, let me look at the calendar so I don't screw up the exact day. March 31st. That's when the earliest registration begins. So I'm probably gonna do I'm gonna be releasing more info on it around that time, within like the week before that. But it's gonna be like a month of registration or so before the actual course goes live. And then it's like a 7-week long thing for each course. But I'll have more info on it, and I'm happy to answer any questions now as well. Because I have most of the hard dates and everything set in stone now. Oh man. Yes. The course is not for working on any particular character. It's the course is called Mastering Form, and it is, like I said, a 7-week-long program that goes through the entire character creation process. And the course, as the name implies, focuses more so on sculpting appealing form. I think there's a lot of courses and tutorials out there that will teach you how to use software, or teach you how to use a particular brush, or do something really specific, but there's not really a ton of courses that talk on the mindset and mental skills needed to create appealing form and all that jazz. So that's what the course focuses on. 7-week program, sculpting a character from beginning to end. 7 weeks of lectures, and each lecture is about an hour to 2 hours or so on average. Each week there is a homework assignment, homework feedback, so personalized critiques, and there are live sessions as well. So there's a bunch. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. I've been working on this for a while. I just haven't done too much talking about specifics because there was a lot that I was just trying to nail down in terms of what would actually be feasible, and also figuring out dates for everything. So, like I said, that'll be opening up registration on March 31st. And then the first actual class, so depending on when you sign up, like what month you sign up for, where'd my calendar go? Would be on April 28th, and then it would go for 7 weeks from there. And then if you miss the first one, there's always registration that you can do for the next session. So it'll be a big thing. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Awesome, awesome. So am I. I'm very excited to finally be launching it. It's something I've been working on since October, I think, of last year. So it's been like half a year in the making. So yeah, I've been working on this for a while. It's just a lot to nail down. But yeah, like I said, it's not really a focus on the software. It's not a focus on, learning how to use ZBrush. Although there will be, technical workflows, obviously, and advice that I give on how to use specific tools as we move along. But a lot of it is more so on the artistic side, aesthetic side, let's say. Because I don't think there's I don't think there's enough content out there that focuses on that. So that's what I wanted to make with this. Continue to just block out some different colors there. That's starting to feel a lot better from the profile up here. I'm not sure about the muzzle, the mouth here. And from the front, the shape is, it's there. But there might be some stuff we can do here to make the profile a little bit more visually interesting. What am I gonna do for this mouth? we're just gonna have to play around here in the mud for a little bit, try to find something that makes a little bit more sense. This is some kind of shape here. Gonna get that little bit of a transition around the lip that I'm seeing. Starting to get it. The episode was a recap. Nice. Of course it was. Let's just move on to the next one, right? Or was this like a live thing that you were watching? Oh, I can't remember the last time I watched a live television. Oh my gosh. It's been a long time. So the only reason I'd actually carve in around this mouth is just so I can affect the shape of my lip a little bit more accurately. Like, I don't actually need to create a mouth cavity here, because I'm probably going to merge all this together. But what I do want is for the shape around this lip to get a little bit more defined. Ah, streaming. I see, I see. And they gave you a recap episode. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, we're starting to get there. One brush stroke at a time. Sculpting is a very slow process, if you guys didn't know. I really just want to get a better little slope right here. Oh man. Alright, so it's a little bit messy, but I'm going to leave it for now and we can continue on with the rest of this. I'm thinking that... Polygon, thank you for the sub and welcome. How you doing, man? What is going on? Oh my. Oh my. Man, I can't wait for My Hero to come back. Need me some more My Hero in my life. I started to read the manga, but I kind of didn't want to spoil it because the anime is actually super good. But I often do this. I find like a new anime that I like, and then I'll go read ahead in the manga and spoil everything. It's what I did with an anime called something Legend or Rising. I think it's Rising of the Shield Hero. I was like, yep, I'm gonna go read ahead on this one. Spoil all the things. But honestly, the manga is really good, so... My Hero is awesome. Yes, it is. I'm so glad that it became popular enough that they kept making more seasons. They've been popping them out like crazy. And most animes do not get adapted that quickly. So they must be putting a lot of money behind that. I don't know if it's really popular in Japan. I know it's like hugely popular here. Weekend is here, heck yeah, man. Well, for me that just means like more work, but I've been once I'm done with my new course, I'll actually be able to like chill out for a minute at least. But I have some other work that I have to take care of as well. To make actual doll hairs right now. Making a new course or doing a course yourself? Oh, no, yeah. I am making a course. I've been working on a course, what did I say, since October, I think? Yeah, I was just talking about it a little bit, but I haven't talked about it too much. It's been a while since I've talked about it because I don't want to talk about something a lot and get people hyped for something that isn't coming out immediately. But now I actually have dates nailed down, so I'm actually launching registration on March 31st, I think is what I said. Let me check the calendar. Yes, March 31st for the first session. It's like a 7-week long program with, it's called Mastering Form. It takes you through creating an entire character from beginning to end over a 7-week long period with lectures each week, as well as personalized critique and homework assignments, personalized critique, and live sessions. And the lectures are about like an hour to 2 hours on average. But yes, I am very, very excited about finally launching it. Like I said, I've been working on it for a long time, and it's finally here. It's almost time. It's like right around the corner. Love my tutorials. Well, awesome. Thank you, man. This is gonna be like the highest quality thing that I've ever created. I put more work into this than like any, probably, yeah, more so than anything in my entire life. Like I said, I've been working on this for a very long time. In terms of tutorial course content, like this is by far the biggest undertaking that I've ever done. It's a big, big thing. But yeah, I appreciate that, man. That's very nice of you. Glad you like the content. But like I said, it's called Mastering Form. The entire point of the course is to, well, talk about and learn how to recognize and create appealing shapes, appealing form, and also learn how to create it from your imagination. So going into a lot of fundamental principles, that kind of stuff. So I think there's a lot of courses and tutorials out there that'll teach you how to use specific stuff in ZBrush, how to make something really specific, but there's not a lot that really talks about what goes on in terms of mindset, what goes on underneath the hood in terms of why something looks good, why something looks appealing. So yeah, that's kind of a general idea of what you could expect. But I can also answer specifics. If you guys have any cues. Any cutie cues? This mouth is being really annoying. I think I'm just gonna remesh it later and move on to something else. Cause that lip down there needs some help. Alright, let's look at these eyes. I had a placeholder in here for placement. Need to widen the line of my nose. Whoa, wrong brush. What's going on here? There we go. I can't see. Turn off this stupid Polypaint. Was a bit better. Nice material freak out. This happens when you're poly painting and sculpting at the same time. Your material gets reassigned or actually gets turned off is what was happening there. It's a nice fun little bug. Here. Actually, let me carve in the eyes first before I remesh this. I think that'll be smart. Would that be doable for someone that is working our sessions during the day or evening? It kind of depends on what time zone you're in. So I don't know where you are in the world. But lectures are pre-recorded. And the homework feedback will be pre-recorded. But the live sessions will be on... they are currently scheduled for the first month, so it could be different in the future, but for the first session they are scheduled for Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern US time, EST. So in terms of live sessions, but the live sessions are also recorded, so if you want, you can send in questions that you might have for that live session, and I can answer them during the private live session as well as I don't pre-record them. I record them and post them as video on demands as well. So no worries if you miss anything. So I think in terms of being able to do that if you're a student or if you have a full-time job, I totally think it's possible. That's why it's a 7-week long course and not, you know, all thrown into a shorter amount of time. It's meant to give you plenty of time to go through the lecture, the homework, feedback, live session, etc. all within, you know, like I said, it's like I say 7 weeks, but it's actually a little bit longer than that. It's closer to 8, but yeah, 7 weeks of like fully fledged content in that regard. But yeah, I absolutely think it would be possible. That is the whole reason why I spread it out the way I did. Because trust me, I know. I know people are busy. I understand that. Alright, so I'm thinking for these eyes that I just mask and carve in. In terms of placement though, I don't know if that's still where I want those. Let's see. me turn them off for a sec. The top line, like the top row of that, these eyes are so tiny, it's really hard to just make out what's happening. Let's do a slice here, because there's a really straight line going across for the top portion, and then the bottom portion kind of follows this line, the nose, somewhere around there. So I'm using my slice curve brush to do this, just to like block out some areas. And then for the other way, they're very shallow, aren't they? We can adjust this after I do this, but just to get something started here. Sounds good. Probably sign up. Well, awesome, man. I look forward to it. Be a lot of fun, like I said. What the heck? Like I said, what the heck? Like I said, very excited to finally be actually talking about specifics here. Alright, let me see. So I think they need to be a little bit wider, obviously. I don't really want to redo my cut, so I think we'll just kind of stretch this out with our move brush, play around. Really, I just did this to get a very quick idea of where that needed to be. It does not need to be perfect by any means. A lot of this is going to change. We also need some additional form around this area, coming up for the brow and around this way. Even though it's very tiny, you know, we still want some surrounding form. We don't want this to just be completely flat. It's gonna feel really awkward. Let's see, what is Zremesher giving us right now? Bunch of junk. Actually, a bunch of nothing. Up the resolution. For some reason it's remeshing at a lower res, or maybe it's just that area. That's pretty high, 3.3. We'll just keep it for now. Get a little extra form around our brows. And this slope that we have here is, this slope, this angle, is what I was actually trying to avoid. Ended up getting a little bit of it anyway, but it's pretty easy to fix here with a quick couple move brush changes, just pushing around. These are so tiny, it's really hard to get in here and work on this. Here, let's just do this. Hide everything. If you want to make your characters feel bigger, give them really tiny faces, or in this case, really tiny eyes. His schnoz is so big. I think it works with this character though. Feels like a chunker. Alright, these eyes are pretty messy. Not really too much we can do there in terms of cleanup at this resolution though. Not right now, at least. Need this to be pretty simple. Honestly, Sculptress would be pretty nice in that area right now, but let's go ahead and get some eyes in there. I think I'm just gonna repurpose my little placeholder triangle, because I don't think these eyes are gonna need to be rounded. I should just be able to put like a flat plane in there. Hey, you know what? Nah, let's try to get a sphere. Even though they're these derpy little triangles, right? Try to get a sphere in there. Oh man. Alright, you can pretty much make round eyes work for any eye shape, even weird triangular ones, but you're probably going to have to make them very, very, very large to make that work. In this case, I think we can do it. It's going to be a little weird here at first, but let me try to round out this top lid. Doesn't need to be a ton. Start nudging it ever so slightly. I'm gonna have to do the same on the bottom, probably. Eyes are very, very tough. And these ones in particular are very strange. Let me try scaling these up quite a bit. Dream Freeze 69, very nice. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. So like I said, very large, right? We'll make it work. I'm about to like slice this just so I can get in here and see what the heck's going on. Because then, or you know what? Never mind. Just try this real quick. I'm always telling people to spend a lot of time on your eyes, and here I am, I'm like, let's rush ahead. But honestly, they're so dang tiny that they don't need to be perfect, I guess. I had AccuCurve. I was wondering what was going on. I had AccuCurve on that whole time. That's what gives you those really sharp points on your move brush. Alright, I think we're a lot closer. Do some quick pushing and pulling around here. For those that have downloaded the update, let's see, now it's been 2 days, right, since 2019 came out. How's everybody enjoying the new features? It's everybody's favorite. I've been really liking the new Zremesher. Zremesher 3.0 is awesome. I also really like folders, but you can see that I'm not using them right now. Honestly, when I'm sculpting, I don't really care too much about organization, especially in the beginning. It's more about just trying to get as much done sculpturally and worry about form as much as you can. And then I'll spend time later on trying to do some organization, because most of the time I really don't even need this sidebar open, because I can select and switch between subtools simply by alt-clicking. But, you know, I still need to turn everything on. Occasionally I mess with visibility. I enjoy just being able to see my different layers of subtools and everything, and then I can obviously just swap between stuff very quickly by alt-clicking. But yeah, folders are awesome. The new version of Zremesher is super cool, even though I don't do a ton of hard surface stuff. I think it's very, very cool. Had a lot of fun playing around with it. For those that did not see, I have a ton of new tutorials on my YouTube channel, which there is a link somewhere down below for. And I have tutorials for all the new features, which is, oh, wrong one. If you just Google Follygon, you should, whoops, okay, I can't highlight. You should be able to find it. But yes, there are 7 new tutorials, NPR, like I said, the new, ooh, we were looking at the Z Color plugin earlier. Z Color is pretty sweet. I was playing around with some of the harmonious colors, seeing what we got with our dude here. So what's cool is you can like click and drag and select a color, and then it'll give you a bunch of harmonious colors down here, like triadic and different things like that. I think that's this one, or split. No, it's this one. Obviously. 3 different shades. But yes, very, very cool. Lots of cool little things. And then there's obviously the NPR filters, which are they're kind of gimmicky, but I think there's some cool stuff that could be done with them. I think I have one loaded in actually right now, one of my custom BPR filters. Let me see. Let's do fix my shadows so they're not super rough. I believe I have one in here. Actually, we'll find out. I think I have my heavy paint loaded in right now. Yes. So there's that. So this is one of the BPR filters that I made in that tutorial over on my YouTube channel, the NPR tutorial. So it gives a pretty cool, like, heavy, quick paint effect. It kind of reminds me a little bit of some, like, I can't remember the dude's name, but I think he works for Pixar, and he does, or you know what, actually it kind of reminds me of GopGap's kind of newer stuff. But yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of a cool, quick little paint effect. Like I said, a lot of it's kind of gimmicky, but at least I think you could get some cool effects for like prints, or like for stuff that you'd hang on your wall, or for like, I could see it being used for like a children's book, or, you know, there's a bunch of different stuff in here. I think Pablo definitely came up with some of the best ones during the beta. So there's some cool little effects, but that last one that I just showed you was mine. Heavy paint. Actually, if you want to get that, that's available for free over on my Gumroad. I think that has like 3 different BPR filter presets in there. But yes, there's that. There's the folders. The folders are awesome, which, like I said, I haven't really done. Because there's so few parts in this. 14 different parts. It's not really worth doing, but let's see. Maybe we could make one for... Here, we'll rename that. Call it head. Start throwing some of these in there. And of course you can toggle all of those off and on at once. You can collapse your folders. You can... One of the coolest things that you can do is you can actually boolean all the stuff that's in your folder, which is actually my favorite feature from the new folders, and it will add the boolean object in your current subtool list, which is so much nicer than what you had to do before. It's very nice. But there's a bunch of stuff in here that you can do. Duplicate. You can actually transpose an entire set of objects. Oh my goodness. We have symmetry on, don't we? So you can move multiple subtools at once, which you could already do, but this way it's a little bit, I think it's a lot easier to do through the pizza box feature. But yes, there's a bunch of stuff in there. I highly encourage you guys to go check it out. It's very cool. Thank you ZBrush, very cool. Lots of good stuff in there. You know what, this guy needs some eyebrows and some pupils. Those eyes are looking pretty dead. Where'd our eyes go? Let's open up our folder. Wow. I never thought I'd say that while in ZBrush. Let's open up our folder. Alright, let's paint a quick little black dot on the end of that. Something simple. Oh, way too big. A little bit too small. Find a nice quick little in-between on that. And he needs an eyelash and an eyebrow. Alright, so that's pretty messy in terms of just the geometry, but you can come in here. Whoops, wrong piece. Alright, I'm gonna give this guy a quick eyelash. A little tough to see when it's black like that. Gave that a little too much curve as well. Should have been more straight. And I'll just fix my little pupil here real quick. Paint in a quick farkle. Give it some life. Seriously, highlights in the eyes make all the difference in the world. Even if it's something really simple and quick like that, it just makes your eyes feel so much more alive. See how dead that feels as compared to just like a quick little dot. It's amazing the difference it can make. And let's give him some quick eyebrows as well. I think I'm just gonna duplicate my eyelash. Reuse it. Wow. Amazing. I'm a genius. I don't know about that. Alright, let's make him a little thicker. There's too much crap on my screen at once. This has to go away. This is a lot more rounded here than I thought it was. I'm just gonna pull out my brow a little. My God, select the stupid thing. And this is also, actually this is a lot lower. It's very flat is what I was gonna say. But also a lot lower. And from what I can tell, should uncrease this edge. That feels much closer to me, to what I'm seeing. Like I said, it's very tiny. I can zoom back in on it if we want to. But I think that's feeling a lot better. My contacts get so dry when I'm sculpting because, in all honesty, I forget to blink. I just sit here and stare at it, stare at my Cintiq so long. Alright, getting a nice clean shape through there. Oh, you know what? I actually didn't need to do that. I could have just mirror and welded that right out of the gate. Forgot we could do that now. Well, there's a bug for us. It won't let me pull that directly down. For some reason, right there, I'm holding shift, but it's not pulling my transpose line directly down. Something to do with it snapping somewhere. It's only right there. I'm trying to recreate it so I can figure out what's going on. Tell them about it. It's definitely pulling straight down. I don't know. So it definitely has to do with the new camera. There are a lot of, see how it's doing it now? So there are a lot of weird bugs with the camera, the new camera. And a lot of them have been fixed up, but it looks like there's still some in there, which, you know, is to be expected. It's a brand new feature. There's only so much beta testers can pick up on, but once everybody gets their hands on it, if you guys do encounter issues, absolutely take some time to reach out to the THICCC support or dev team. Try and tell them about your issue. It's very helpful for them to hear about that stuff. I'm sure they would appreciate you guys reaching out and helping. Trying to figure out where that line is. Lion line. I guess he's a tiger, isn't he? Alright, we're getting there. Eyes make a world of difference, I think. Expression-wise, he looks just so much more PO'd than mine. And I think my eyes are actually a little too small. Eyes and eyelashes. So I could stand to make those a little bit bigger, which is fine. It's not super hard to do. Let's see. How are we doing on time? So normally on Fridays I do live critiques, but we didn't have very many this week. I think I only had a couple. So I didn't want to do a whole stream and, you know, come on for like 30 minutes to an hour and only do that. So I figured we would just take some time and chill out. But next Friday, we'll be doing critiques again, most likely. We'll be back to that. So if you guys do want to get some stuff critiqued by me, you can shoot me an email at follygon@gmail.com. Just include some info about what you would like me to take a look at. So I don't know if you guys are... Ooh, there's that bug again. If you guys are subbed on my YouTube channel, you guys have been seeing all the critiques that I've been posting up there recently. So if you guys want to get in, that's how you do it. Again, follygon@gmail.com. That's where you can send those. And preferably ZTools if you can. If not, it's not the end of the world, but it definitely makes it a lot easier on me. So if you can, please do. Babu, what's up? What is going on? The baboon. Gotta get that prime. I don't know why it didn't go off. It didn't do the thing. Polygon just did it and the alert went off. Not sure what happened. Thank you, man. Alright, let's get a remesh on our face, on our head, all this, because that'll make it much easier to adjust the scale of our eyes. Let's do a target poly count. Go for like 5K here. So you guys will get to see the Zremesher 3.0 here and how it works with no additional polygroups or anything. Like I said, it's pretty much exactly the same as the legacy version. In terms of organics, it's maybe slightly better, but I would say that it's not noticeably better just by default for organics. But with the detect edges and keep creases operations for hard surface stuff, it's insane. It's crazy good how accurate it can get. Yeah, so that's about what I expected. Let's do some quick projections. Hopefully get a little bit more cleanly up here in the eyes. Problem is that they're just so small that geometry isn't going to be very dense up there. Oh, you know what we could do? I have an idea after this finishes. So you can actually use polypainting to control the density of your polygons. Your polygons. Ooh, that was cooking there. Let's see here. Use Polypaint. Let's try this out, because I think it'll be a fun little experiment. Alright, so use Polypaint, and if I remember, cannot read this. Hold on. Let me change my background color. If the slider is set to 4, then ZBrush will paint pure red. Those areas will have 4 times. Okay. So it's going to be more dense. So the geometry will be remeshed 4 times more densely there. And if we set it to 0.25, this should be blue, I think, yeah. So this will remesh everything else to be a lot less dense. So what I'm doing is I am telling ZBrush, hey, I want these eyes to have a lot more polygons when I remesh this. So to make this, here, what I'll do is I'll fill in, I'll make all this blue, and then I'll just make the eyes red. So this is the most extreme version of what I could do here. Just to make sure I get all of this, I'm going to just select it all and do a fill object. Just so I make sure I get in those little creases. It's been a very long time since I have used this feature. They have a similar thing with their automatic UV toolset as well for texel density. Let's see how it works. And let's try 5K again. We'll see what we get with that. Rabbi Rucci, welcome to the stream and thank you for the follow. Big Brush, what's going on? Welcome back. I've been going through ArtStation today and oh man, all these amazing stylized models. Yeah, I saw one by somebody that I saw post. Let me see. Which one? I can't remember the name of the characters. Yeah, these are done very well. Who is this? Leandro Sakami. Go check out Leandro's model. The turnarounds for these are fantastic. Some good stuff going on there. Thank you for the follow. Again, G Deadless. What's going on? Where was... Let me see if I can find this model I saw the other day. I don't know who this person is. Welcome to my stream where we just look at ArtStation. Here it is. So, Maria Alexinko. And she did this character a while ago, and I pulled this up on stream. And this one has the exact same issues that the last one had, unfortunately. And I'm not doing this to like rail on her or anything, just to point it out. So, because I think it's something that's very important. I think this looks fantastic from the front view, but from the profile, this looks very bad. Very flat, and things like really start to fall apart. So she's done a fantastic job of matching the likeness if you look at the original, but from the profile, really starts to break down. This one, same exact thing. Looks really good from the front. Like the likeness to the original is choice. But from the profile, it really starts to get flat down here. We've gotten some more depth in the eyes, but things, again, really start to fall apart from the profile. So that's why it's so important for us to rotate and move around as much as we possibly can while we are sculpting. What the hell is this? Wow, that is terrible. I gave it a target poly count of 5 with the use polygroups operation. Let's step back. Instead of setting the blue to 0.25, I'm guessing that's what's the main offender here. Let's undo all the way back to where I just painted the eyes red. And make all this just white. Maybe this will work. We'll try it again really quick. Seagull Rush, what up? Filters in trending. Are there a bunch of them? I haven't really seen too many of them. Let's see. My Folygons feature improve with this version. Yes, Folygons are much improved now. Realize that too, the profile looks weird. Yeah, it's just, well, you can try and match stuff from the, from your image reference as close as possible, but, we're 3D artists, we have to make things work from all different angles, so it's a tough thing to do, and, I'm not, like, pulling that up to, like I said, rail on the person, but, it's definitely something that, I want to point out so that you guys don't make the same mistakes as well. I don't think this projection is going to work the way I want it to. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Yes, the blue, so here, give that a second. So the use Polypaint, adjusting this color slider, here if you hold Control key over anything in ZBrush, it gives you more information on it. So if you just read this, you can set it from 0.25 up to 4. 4 gives you 4 times the density, 0.25 obviously a fourth of the density. And when you adjust this slider, it will actually change your paint color to the appropriate color value. But you have to turn on that color feature in Zremesher. That is not a new thing, by the way. That's been in ZBrush for a very long time. But it's not something I've used in a very long time, and these eyes are so tiny. I was like, oh, you know what? Let's try it out. It's been a while since I've used it. Let's see what we can get. A gradient of red. It's fine. Really, I was fine with the first one that I did. I didn't really care. I just want the geometry to have a low subdiv so that I can scale up the eyes a little bit more efficiently than just a Dynamesh piece of geometry. Ugh. Oh man, I am dead. Burbing. BRBing. Alright, let's make these eyes. And whoops. And I broke the shape of the nose there. It's a nice hard line. We'll change that later. It also needs to be more rounded. Feels more bulbous than what we have. Alright, let's try making these eyes a little bit bigger. Polygroups are better for Zremeshing. I would have to agree. Alright, let's see if we can scale this up. Without breaking everything. Spoiler alert. The answer is typically no for stuff across the symmetrical axis like this. But I know some tricks to fix stuff. I'm getting there. Eyes need to maybe be a bit, a bit wider. Let's see. It's a little hard to tell with my geometry so low res like it is right now. Let's see. Let's try that. See what that looks like. Griftrix, what's up? I'm new here. Searched 3D art, and here we are. Well, welcome, man. Welcome to the club. My name is Ben. My name's Jeff. I'm Ben, and we're just making this fat tiger. Normally on Fridays we do live critique streams, but I didn't have a ton of new critiques, and I'm also exhausted because the new version of ZBrush came out a couple days ago, and I made a crap ton of tutorials. So, I am V-tired right now. And I don't want to give crappy critiques. Gliffy, welcome back. It's been a while. I didn't work on the film Cloudy. No, I worked on some life-size figures. Actually, one life-size figure for Cloudy. What's the monkey's name? Steve? Steve, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. But yes, he's on a giant party in the box button. Ooh. Gregola. That's a very, very nice name. Welcome, Gregola, and thank you for the follow. What do I want to do with these nostrils? I was just trying to pull this shape out a little bit more here for the color. Honestly, I don't want to sit here and worry about Polypaint too much, because I don't really care. I'm more interested in getting the form looking good. So this was an interesting character to start on because I did something a little bit different. If you guys didn't see the first part of me working on this, it's over on the Pixelogic channel, or it'll be up on my YouTube channel here in a little bit. I just need to upload it, but I started working with Polypaint from the very beginning, so tried out something a little bit different with him. Yes, I've done some toys for Pokemon, yeah. I love me some Pokemon. Can I ask you something? Well, that depends what it is, if you're gonna preface it with that. Could I check out this piece and do a quick breakdown? Oh, this model is very, very good. I saw this. There's some good stuff in here. I don't know what you want me to break down in it, though. Could you be a little bit more specific? The only thing that really bothers me about this is... I can't freeze frame this to show you, but from the profile, the transition from the body to the head, I've had to do a character like this before, and it's tough to figure out. I can't... Let me look at the concept. Yeah, what I probably would have done for that head transition into the body and shoulders, that's tough. It's really tough. Especially with that seam line. Quick little sketch. Yeah, I would have probably tried to like tilt the shoulders forward a little bit more so that it didn't feel so tall there. So that transition didn't feel quite as awkward. But still, I mean, a lot of the forms here are really, really good. Some good stuff going on there. Butt's maybe a little flat and square, but you can't see the butt too well. I probably would have done something a little bit more rounded for that, but I don't think it looks bad. It's very nice. Very nice. I use Blender because I'm an amateur. Well, Blender's really powerful. There's a lot of good stuff in there. But in terms of sculpting tools, yeah, definitely. Defo ZBrush. I'm going to delete this extra foot here. I don't need that anymore, I don't think. RD, what's up? Hail up. What's up, man? Do you ever do analog modeling? So you mean like poly modeling, box modeling? I'm guessing that's what you mean. I've never heard somebody call it analog modeling. That's awesome. I like it. Yeah, I do that all the time. That's what this is. And a couple other pieces here. But since then I have remeshed them. But like this this bottle, I'll poly model that. Little jar. Which would be a pretty simple thing to do. But hey, you know what? Let's make a jar. We're talking about it. Let's do it. I made a painting of a dragon. Oh, I'm painting a dragon, sorry. Yeah, there's a masking feature called Peaks and Valleys, I think. Well, I know, but here. Masking, mask peaks and valleys, and then play around with your settings in here, big brush, and you should be able to come into a situation in which that can help you out. But there are some other options as well. So what you could do is maybe, like you said, peaks only. The peaks and valleys, I think it's more so peaks or valleys. I think you can do either or, but with the cavity, you might be able to get a better result for what you want, and then maybe you can inverse that. I don't know, play around with it, see what you can come up with in there. Need for Storms, what's up? Thank you for the follow. I just enjoy your comment on stylized work. No worries, man. Analog equals real world. That's what I thought at first. I was like, you mean sculpting? Like, with clay? It's like, I got some monster clay, and that's about it. But I don't really enjoy sculpting with clay too much. Every once in a great while, I'll pull it out and go crazy. Yeah, honestly, before ZBrush, pretty much all toys were sculpted out of wax. But anymore, a large majority of those have shifted into the digital realm. Alright, so proportionally, there is some height stuff here that I want to fix before I do that bottle. So I'm going to pull this guy over here, scale him up, opacity, perspectivity, well, let's line up this sweatshirt a little bit more closely. So there's some perspective stuff going on here for sure, but even with that in place, I want to make him a little taller. I could just tell that by looking at him, but I don't think it's a huge difference here. I'm essentially just going to grab the sweatshirt here. Here, check this out. Draw. We got our new cameras, right? Let's store this camera and turn our perspective on, because we have to do that. Alright. Let's make a quick mascaroni here. Man, I hate this color. I'm so inaccurate at trying to do anything with my mouse in here. Stick with my pen. Stick with what I know best. And back to the draw palette here. Go back to our camera view. Wow, amazing. Isn't that neat? Want to know how to use that tool more? There's a whole tutorial over on my YouTube channel. Check it out. Whoop. I'm gonna make them just I'm exaggerate that just a tad, just a wee bit, as well as pull down on that curve. Bacon Boss, what's up? Thank you for the raid there. Appreciate it, man. And welcome everybody else. How you guys doing? I'm in the process of, well, I was about to make a bottle, like of protein powder. that might be the most mundane thing I'll ever model. No, that's not true. I've done some pretty mundane and stupid stuff. But what's going on, everybody? Welcome. I am Follygon, and yeah, we're taking some time to just like chill out today, do some sculpting. Sculpt a thick boy. Nothing too crazy. What's going on? What are you guys up to? This boy thick, that's right. Hence the THICCC. You know what's up. He doesn't know yet. Please. I check chat at least once every hour. Put the memes in the bag and nobody gets hurt. That's right. Let's see him. Show me your memes. Let's see what you got. Bacon bolts. What were you working on, man? Get swole. Outside lane, what's up? Welcome back. Come to get thick. Get jacked. This boy could probably use some more junk in the trunk as well. Yeah, he might have skipped leg day a couple times. Don't Chads skip leg day, or I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know exactly how Chads work. All right, let's do our super boring bottle there. I think it'll be really easy and quick. So let's put Tigger up here in the top right. T-I-double-gut-er. And how do I want to do this? Probably just a few different edge loops here. Let's cheat though. I like using the slice curve brush for edge loops really quick. No one does legs? Dude, I did leg day recently, alright? Look, some people do leg day. Alright, let's get some bevels. It's gonna need to be a lot more curved on the bottom. This is the fun stuff, right guys? Wow, modeling a cylinder. We need to get back to Thick Boy as quick as possible. I'll try to hurry. You can't squat if you can't bench 1,000,000 pounds. I don't know what kind of science you subscribe to. That sounds like pretty sound science. Alright. Let's just shrink that in. Boom. Beautiful. Wow, this couldn't be more exciting. Alright. And quick bevel up here. Pretty close already. Let's do a quick lid. You know what? Here. Just to make sure that's exactly where I want it. One giant lid. This is not a commission now. I don't do commissions in the traditional sense. The clients that I work for don't really let me work on stuff live on stream. Now, we normally do live critiques on Fridays, but the new version of ZBrush just came out a couple days ago, and it's been a crazy week, so we're just kind of chilling out today, doing some sculpting on this tiger boy. If you guys want to see the first part, it's over on the official Pixelogic YouTube channel. You can go check that out there. Yeah, pretty simple model, pretty simple character, a lot of fun. Thick boy, Dan Kelby, if you guys want to check out the original 2D concept artist. Alright, is that too tall? I don't know. But I want to scale up this edge loop, and that'll essentially give us a little bit of roundness to the bottle. Make it look like it's bubbling out like we got there. Beautiful. And we could align that if we want to get the proportions a little bit closer. But I think for now, that is good. Let's see, down here I might actually try deleting this real quick. And let's give this a bottom, even though it'll never be seen, just so you guys can see the process. Sure, something like that. I don't know, maybe we could bevel this. Good enough for me, at least for now. All right, what's next? What is next? The bottle must be swole too. Everything must be swole. That tail needs to be swole. Everything. Snake Pass. Ooh, get a free game. I've been playing Apex with my friends. Actually, I haven't played in a while. Tetragon, thanks for the follow. But it's been a fun game to just kind of chill out and play every once in a while when I have a minute. It's actually the first Battle Royale style game that I've ever played. But it's pretty fun. I don't have anything against the genre, although I know a lot of people do. Am I finding a use for the new camera? Yeah, I just saved a camera view earlier when I was lining something up. Boop. We called our camera Herp Derp. Beautiful. You can store multiple cameras. If you move something, you can actually undo the camera movement that you just made up to 14 times. So that's pretty cool. You can set traditional camera angles. Honestly, it's, you know, it's not something that I was personally dying for, but I greatly appreciate the traditional focal lengths here. This is much more improved from what we previously had. So I'll probably keep that on the default of 50 millimeters pretty much all the time. But if I have an image where I want to composite something into it, and I know the millimeter length of my camera lens, then I can line that up perfectly in there and get the exact same perspective, which is pretty awesome. You could actually even import your image into the background of your document, and then you could line it up in here and composite it in ZBrush, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think it'll be very helpful for a lot of people. I was actually showing off the one of the BPR filters that I made. So I have tutorials over on my YouTube channel for all the new 2019 features, which I was mentioning earlier, but I think right now I have just one of the defaults selected here. Let me see. I'll show you guys one of the filters that I made. I can find it very quickly. Just a quick kind of heavy paint stylized, just quick heavy paintbrush kind of thing. Pretty fun, pretty simple, just something quick. This is actually what I made during the beta for the monsters that I made, if you guys saw those. Or here they are. You can actually get these filters for free. So I made some over on my Gumroad, gumroad.com/Follygon. I made some monsters during the beta testing, and I made a bunch of filters, but the filter system is a little bit different now than it was back then, so I had to recreate a lot of the filters that I made during that time. But yes, they were a lot of fun to play around with, and they're pretty simple, pretty easy. It's not like they're super complicated to get in there and mess around. Alright, what do we want to do next on this dude? Tell you what I want to do. Fix this mouth. Can you export the camera? Yes, you can. You can, yes. Indeed. That's why it's called the universal camera. So you can export it as an FBX file, I believe. It's the go-to format. Isn't that an ugly line? Run! Run from the filters. Don't let them catch you. Yeah, they're pretty gimmicky, for sure. It's not really what I care about. And I will never use them again. Like, for anything, if I'm being completely honest. Unless there is a very particular situation in which they are necessary. But, like I said, it could be something cool for like a children's book. Some like prints you could hang up on your wall, something like that. I think there's some cool use cases there. But really, not too much else. I don't really know exactly what I want to do with the profile of this mouth. I don't think this is reading the same from the profile. And it might just be a little bit of the Polypaint. There's also some proportional differences here, I think, in the mouth that I want to make. Honestly, it's tough to say. Let's play around here a little bit more. What up, Emil? What am I doing? Jay chillin', doing some sculpting on this tiger. What are you doing? What's up, Doom? How you doing, man? Welcome back. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Just a little chill stream. Do some quick sculpting. I say quick, but we've been streaming for over 3 hours now. Just kind of chilling out, like I said. It's Friday, right? It's the weekend. Which really just means, like I said earlier, more work, but at least for now, can chill out. Work on some personal stuff. Just a quick little taiga here. Thanks for the follow there, Emil. Appreciate it, man. And I'm gonna subdivide this because I can't do what I want. Cannot sculpt this the way that I want right now. I want this edge to start turning. Just try to get a little bit of a better flow through here. And I'm exaggerating this curve, obviously, but just to start out. Gotta start somewhere, and I like to start with exaggeration. Start exaggerating a little bit, bleh. And then you can push it back more from there. Let's play around with one of these arms for a moment. Can you remove an object in an IMM primitive? Django. I assume you mean just an IMM primitive brush, right? Here. So I have, or here, I'll grab an IMM primitive brush. Let's grab the primitive H brush, which inserts half shapes. And I'll select the half cylinder extension, sure. And then let's go into, I believe it's under brush, if I remember correct. Here, let me dock the brush menu over here so it's a little bit easier to control. And let's go to create. And click on delete mesh. So now that mesh is no longer in that brush. So I think that's what you're asking. Let me know if that's correct. And if so, that should be the answer for you. Hopefully that's right. I believe that's what you mean, though. Three hours is quick for you. 3 hours flies by. It can, for sure. Especially when you're juicy. Oh, whoops. Meant to hide the tail. Juicy. Fucking go away. There we go. Alright, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with one of these arms. Let's grab this one on the right. Start playing around with the shape. So it's a relatively simple curve. It's pretty much a straight, and then a straight into a curve, and then it's got like this little extra hiccup on the bottom. So let's see, down to here, and this arm is swinging backwards, because if we look at the angle of the bag, the way that's facing, we can see the top of it, therefore his arm is swinging back, so you can see that. Alright, he doesn't really have much of an elbow going on here. So let's just kind of erase that and get rid of it for now. Get this arm starting in the right place, coming down straight, and it kind of curves there. Let's see. with this shape for a little bit. Find a good place for that. And this is one of those scenarios like those faces that I was showing before where, you know, you can make something look correct from the front view, but if you don't make it work from all angles, it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just be a 2D artist. Alright, so we had the basic shape there, that's correct. We just need to shorten that a little bit, as well as... the highlight there was messing with my head. As well as get that little extra turn there. But before we do that, we need to make sure that this is working from, like I said, all angles. So, his arm is swinging back. Got this bag that he's holding. It's kinda got a little bit of twist going on in the body. And I would assume that the elbow is bent a little bit for something like this. Maybe not. You know what? Let's play with this. Get like a little bit of curve there, something like that. Just try to make that work. Alright, then that extra little segment at the bottom is pretty annoying. So I think I'm going to do something else for that. Got an idea. And we can do that a little bit more easily. It's very important that this shape feels the same as it wraps around. Buttocks looks juicy, well thank you. Sculpting tiger butts is my specialty. And by specialty, I mean it's the first time I've ever done it. Don't hate me too much. Look, man, I'm the one who put juicy on the butt. Oh, man, this is bad. Oh, man. My contacts are about to fall out of my head. They're so dry. Or my eyeballs are about to fall out of my head. One of the two. Alright, for that shape, so I've exaggerated this line here. I've done this on purpose. Because I'm going to put a fold there later on. with this little extra shape here, I think I'm going to try to achieve that with a cylinder. Time to do your own work? Well, good luck, man. Have fun. Get lots done. I'm putting off my work just to do this. Do some tiger sculpting. That's what's really important, right? Alright, so I've used a cylinder to essentially get that little extra hit there, and we've probably made it a little too long. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Give me a minute here. I don't want to pull my contact down and touch my eyeball because it might freak some of you out, but... Oh. And there goes half of you. Alright, I think I'm going to combine that down and try to figure out this shape a little bit more. Let's move this inside. Whoa. Here. Move this inner edge up. Essentially want that silhouette all combined there. Close, not quite. Oh, there we go. It's looking pretty good. Let's make sure that we get rid of this extra little hit there. Alright, that shape's feeling a lot better. Let's combine these. Merge them together, Dynamesh really quick. And let's make sure that this shape is feeling good. Alright, so we've matched the silhouette from the front view fairly well. That doesn't mean our job's done. What about from the side, or the 3/4? So he's got this bag, his arm's swinging back. If my arm's swinging back, my arm is probably not perfectly straight, which is why I've added just like a little bit of some curve there. I don't know. I think we'll probably leave it the way it is for now. We'll probably end up coming back and making more changes later on. But let's look at what a fold would look like here. This is like the only actual real fold that I see in this entire guy. Not a lot going on. Alright, so when I do folds, use one of these Sharp Soft brushes or the damn standard brush. Try to exaggerate it a little bit. Try not to make your strokes super consistent. You know, think about going from a lighter stroke to a little bit of a harder stroke. Try to fade them out a little. I would say try to focus on, if you're new to sculpting folds at least, try to focus on making your folds a little bit larger. Make them have a little bit more volume than what you think they need. So you can always smooth it and knock it back down later. Oops. Which is what I'm going to end up doing here. The scale of this is way too big as well, which is fine. All right, let's do a quick remesh on this. So I'm just lowering the poly count on this piece so it's a little bit easier to manipulate, and then I'll add some subdivisions and project those. So right now we just have one high resolution mesh, but after we do this, we'll see here in just a moment, and now we got something low res that is a lot easier to manipulate. I can add in the form from the old mesh just by projecting it back onto this new one. Probably just too much volume right now, so let's trim it back. So you could use something like an inflate brush for this as well, but I think the inflate brush, at least with the default settings, is super strong and really destructive for your form. So I typically advise against it, but if you are going to use the inflate brush, turn down the Z intensity for that really far. So in terms of a basic shape, I think that's fine for now. I think it's heading in the right direction. We'll have to do something with the other arm as well, but I'm gonna hold off on that because I think that's gonna be a pretty good place for us to stop for today. I think, let me see here. Very quickly, I'll show you guys where we started. Bam! Just a quick little block out. So that's what we had at the start of our session. Now we got a lot more going on. So we've kind of refined a lot going on in the face. You can't see from this angle, but the profile of this guy was feeling pretty crazy. So we kind of gave him a little bit more thickness, fixed a lot of the stuff going on there. And yeah, I think it's starting to feel a lot better overall. There's still a lot more that we need to do. Keep pushing on him. Take him to the next thick level, but yeah, awesome. Well, next Friday, or I'm sorry, next time I'll be streaming will be on Tuesday over on the Pixelogic ZBrush channel, the official Pixo channel here on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook as well. They stream everywhere. But yeah, that'll be at 6 Eastern US time, as well as over here on my channel next Friday at noon EST. As well as there are links below to my YouTube channel where I've been uploading a bunch of new tutorials for ZBrush 2019. If you haven't checked those out, I have tutorials out for every single new feature already. Go check it out. Links to my ArtStation below, Gumroad if you guys are interested in buying and taking some courses from me, as well as all the brushes, materials, base meshes, my custom UI, All that's been updated, and that is in there as well. So go check it out, gumroad.com/Follygon, and I always appreciate shares and everything else as well. Cool, cool, cool. Well, just came in. Well, no worries. All the stuff that I stream here gets uploaded on my YouTube channel, so not a problem. No problem. My pleasure. Hopefully we're able to do some fun stuff today and answer some good questions. We had a few good ones in there. Selecting polygroups. All sorts of junk. But yes. Yes. Oh, and look at that. That's why I knew it was a good time to quit. We got a beautiful little crash there. So that's good timing. All right. I will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your night and have an awesome weekend. All right. See you guys.